All right, man. Oh man, what is happening? What's up, cuz?
What's happening? What's happening?
Man, absolute fire coming out of that into right into this. I'm pumped. So
Yeah.
we were just on with Jay's Coach Burt, and man, what an absolute fire session. That
Yeah.
just really. And man, it's I guess kind of thinking about just the power of how coaching has had on us, right?
Mhm.
So I go back to kind of where you became a believer was the old tape recorder story.
Yeah.
Share that story, man. It's so
Yeah, man.
good.
Shoot, yeah. So, yeah, man, I had a coach that I used to record my calls. I had a little tape recorder thing that had this weird little thing that connected up to the phone. Like, this is back in the day.
Uh-huh.
Literally recorded this on cassette tapes, and I would record my call, I'd make my calls, call my leads, and I wasn't getting the results, and so my coaching call every week, I said, "Hey, man, these leads suck." Anybody ever said that or heard anybody say that?
Yeah. No person that's ever built a sales organization has
Right.
ever heard that.
And he said, "No, they don't. You're not following the script." I said, "Well, I am following the script." He said, "Well, send me your calls and we'll listen to them." So the next time we had a coaching call, listen to my calls. I said, I told you I followed the script." He said, "You didn't follow the script. Listen again." And sure enough, I had changed the script up enough that it was changing a little bit of the context and in the conversation, and it didn't work. And he said, follow the damn script and it'll work. And I was like, I felt stupid, right? Like, I was like, well, I literally thought I was following the script and I wasn't. And so it was just one of those times that I was like, well, I can be a better copycatter. You know what I'm saying? It was clear. And the thing was, and it was one of those things that when a belief, you have a certain belief until you have a different, result. Well, I started using the script, followed it, and then I started getting the results, and I was like, holy crap! Like, how many times in my life do I need to learn this lesson? I hopefully don't need to learn it again. Just be a better copycatter, like truly listening. And then listen, and then look for where you're wrong, right? Instead of saying, well, that's not working. If everyone else got those results and you didn't, and you're not getting the results, it's just something you're doing. It's not, what I'm saying? That was the big takeaway. And so fortunately I became a better note taker, a better copycatter, better at checking myself where I was in that process versus trying to validate my reasons, that maybe I wasn't getting a result. And that was, and from that point forward, I feel like, how, I think some people have a different journey and maybe different belief system that never got fixed like mine did. But, you go to, some people say, well, I bought this thing and it didn't work. Well, I was always looking for what I made work. Right. So I'll spend $150 to go to this little event for sure, and come back and take something and I'll try it exactly. And I'll try it enough times to say, okay, did it work or not work? And, and you end up getting the results the majority of the time is what it boils down to. Most people aren't selling you a bunch of bullshit. Some people are, don't get me wrong. There's some people out there selling some shit that doesn't work or doesn't work near as it's, you're being led to believe. But for the most part, man, I think we just sometimes we're not good copycatters. We're not good modeling success, as Jay Abraham would say.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, it's too much of, well, I gotta put my touch on it, right? I gotta improve upon it instead of testing it out first to see what the results are going to get before you can even iterate on the process, right? They're trying to iterate before they even start the whole process. And, that's one of the biggest things that I see, it's just they overanalyze it, overthink it. It's like, just trust the process, right?
Right.
Trust the process and get started. That's the biggest thing, right? Just start, take action. And we can iterate along the way. I think the biggest thing is measuring, right? As you're kind of going through. So I think, what I heard the example there was, measuring those recordings, right? So you were recording it, then you can go back and listen to it, where a lot of people don't even take that measurement step. And they give up on it, right? They're like, this shit doesn't work. Let me just, these leads are terrible. Instead of, okay, let me get some game film here and let's watch the film and see where we were off. So it's the measurement side of things as well. Man, think about the evolution there. So coming from there, and then you think through. So we had that, and then I think the next big step coming out of that, because you were within that coaching organization, was then Abraham, and diving in with him. I think too, man, and it's what Coach Burt talks about, right? You got to plug in. You get out with what you give, and I mean, we would meet before our calls, right? And go through, hey, what questions do we want to ask? What do we need to get clear on? Yep. And then we would be the first ones in the queue. And then he would answer our questions and we got right back in the queue again. And, there would be all kinds of people on, but they weren't asking questions. And that's
a huge deal, man. Like we're sitting here today and either anyone who's watching, you've gotten clear, on what your questions are, what problem you need to solve, and you're going to take advantage of it, and you're going to post a question here anytime, any second now, or you're not doing that work on the front end. And it was a long time ago when you were. I remember sitting in your office being the first one to hit one on every one of those coaching calls
every time.
And that's what Jay Abraham loved about us was we always came with a problem we was trying to solve, and then it gave him something to do. And he was real quick to get off that call if there wasn't anybody with questions. And so, man. And I think that, the work on the front end is trying to figure out what problem you need to solve. Right. I don't know. I don't know if that's where, I'm curious if everybody listening today is clear on the problem they need to solve, that's going to help them get to their goal, or do they not even have that clearly a clear goal laid out there trying to get to, like where, we got into the process and it's very clear for me, what I'm saying, looking back and then looking what we're at, what we're trying to accomplish, what the biggest problem is we need to solve. I just don't know how many other people get that clarity. Mm-mm. And so it starts with clarity. You got to be where you're at, where here's A, here's B, here's what's in the way, what's the number one thing I need to solve, and then going to work on that and leveraging the people that that have solved these problems, or there's some, and arguably in some ways the best in the world at solving these problems, to get some clarity around what your next step is.
Yeah, it becomes a who question, right? So mm-hmm. I think you're 100% spot on, man. I mean, most people live in this just kind of circular world, right? And they're just constantly spinning because, like what you just said, they haven't got clear on point B. Mm-hmm. And I think, you look at it, I love Itzler's, analogy of, life is a bus, right? That never stops. And, the bus just keeps moving throughout our life, and people are getting on and getting off. And sometimes you have a flat tire, but the bus keeps moving. So you got to figure out how to change the tire while it's still moving. And, just his analogy, but he goes, you got to make sure that where you're going. And, we learned along, a while ago, it's from A to B. Coach Burt talks about A to B. And I like thinking about it that, I think that BHAG or, freedom or perfect day or whatever, it's the B down the road, but there's a lot of A to B's along the way. And that keeps us on the path. Whereas a lot of people are just free falling. They're just spinning and they have no known direction. They're just reactive to the day. And so I think you're 100% spot on, man. That's where it starts. You got to get clear on the destination. And it, I think when we take them through, right, it's BHAG, right? So even 10 years, right? 10 years of destination. If you look at the VTO, there's a 3-year destination. There's a 1-year destination. There's a 90-day destination. What are you doing A to B today that's moving you closer to each of those points? And, the more clear that you can get on, point B, then it just comes down to the theory of constraints. And, Vern Harnish's #1 book recommendation. And if you guys haven't read it or listened, I prefer to listen to it because the way they tell the story, but it's The Goal by Eli Goldratt. And it's all about theory of constraints. And when you're on from an A to B, we have constraints, right? There's a kink in the water hose somewhere. And, the point of that book is, and it goes back to, Mark Chesley, what we reveal, we can heal. And that's all we're trying to do. We're trying to get from point A to point B. There's a constraint somewhere, and we're trying to find out where that constraint is so we can get to B faster. And then when you get to B, reset B again, right? Because B becomes A. And I think if not, then you go into spin mode, and that's not a fun place to be at all.
No, man.
Man, oh man. What's up, everybody, man? Thank you guys. We came in hot. we were on a session with Jay's coach, Coach Burt, and to the kind of a leadership session. And he was I got 6 pages of notes in that 55-minute conversation. So good stuff. If you guys have any questions, anything on your mind, throw it in. Did you get to watch the Sooners Saturday?
I did. What happens when we get ranked so high every time?
That's what I was thinking, man. They had little glimpses. They looked really good, but then they looked really bad.
Yeah,
they did, man.
Work to be done there.
There's a lot of work to do. I tell you what was impressive about that game is that quarterback from Tulane. That dude took a beating. Like, he just kept getting up. Like, dude, like, really? How are you walking right now?
Right.
He lost his helmet more, shoot. I don't know how many times his helmet came off. 4 or 5 times. He got rattled, but he just got right back up. I was like, damn, that's impressive. So impressive. So what's good, man? What's going on in Puerto Rico?
Man, you know what? Honestly, everything's great here in Puerto Rico. The pressure is on though. So like I didn't realize that sometimes I don't think that there's ever pressure anymore for me. Like, but when my wife puts pressure on me, it creates I don't like it. I just so like I know it's coming, right? My lease is coming up, and so I've got to navigate the waters of the real estate market here, and it's not pretty.
What are you learning?
Yeah, let's see.
Besides patience, what are you learning?
What I'm learning is you engage with every real estate agent, not just one, because there's no MLS here, and if you just have one, you will have whatever options they have available. And so that's definitely the more agents that you're working with, the more opportunities that come up. I've already known this, but I definitely am learning again that when you're buying or releasing in Dorado, you are negotiating from a position of weakness, not strength. No matter how much money you think you have, it doesn't matter when it comes to buying something here or leasing something here. So yeah, it's just the clock's ticking, right? So I've got about 90 days, a little over 90 days, I guess, to get locked in on something. So
yeah, definitely.
I'm the kind of guy I don't feel no pressure like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I could end up homeless. That'd be a problem. So.
What's the alternative is, right? I move into the Ritz for a while.
Yeah. If you think it's expensive to live here, try living in the Ritz.
Yeah, buddy.
It's really actually, it's almost about the same amount, $3,000 a night.
Yeehaw! Get some. My goodness.
It's about it's twice as expensive to live in the Ritz, so that should motivate me a little bit.
A little bit, yeah, for sure. That's nuts, man. So crazy. Well, at least you know quite a few folks. You could definitely move in since it's definitely becoming EXP Island.
Right.
For sure. Cool. What's up, guys? Anything on your mind? Any questions? Anything you're wrestling with? Throw it into the chat. Would love to dive in and unpack anything that's on your mind. We came in hot talking about coaching, working with Jay's coach, and then just kind of reflecting back on our experiences over the years. Man, we went so we had Jay for a while, and then man, what was the program that we got into? What was his name? Earl
Kemper, action coach. I'll tell you a couple we had. Before that, we had Coach Ken.
Yes, we did have Coach Ken.
We had Eden Sunshine.
Yep. The systems coach.
Gosh, I mean, I don't even
this
remember.
Program was cool. He had different options,
right,
for different things. It feels like Helixson's program's kind of that way too, right? Kind of wherever you're focused, you get somebody specialized in that area.
Yep.
Yeah, that's yeah, Coach Ken.
Coach Ken.
Then we had action coach. And it feels like we really got tied in deep with Clay.
Clay, yeah. Well, Clay was using Vern Harnish's system.
Yep. So Vern. We spent a lot of time with Clay.
Habits that was the original. Now it's evolved to traction or whatever. But yeah, it's funny. It's a framework, but what a coach brings to the table, I feel like, and is especially a mentor, is when they've seen enough at the level you're trying to get to, that they bring things to the table that you would never have thought of yourself, because they have more experience, at looking at businesses at your level than you do, right? And so, that's where, like, oh, I didn't think about doing that. Oh, I didn't know there was a system that could do that, or whether it's somehow to getting clients or some other way to monetize the business better. There's just, they see things you don't know, you wouldn't possibly know because you've not been at that level yet. So yeah, those are the.
I think too, is also finding somebody that is really, driven and giving things that are principle based.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I remember listening to a great podcast with Clay, and he had left Hardison, right? Because he'd been coaching with Steve for a while, right? Several years, 150 G's right off the rip to even start coaching with him for the year.
Yep.
And he got away from him. And he said, he said that point, he goes, I felt like I needed to coach with somebody that was where I wanted to be. And he said, that was good. He said, but there was just something about the connection that he had with Steve and being kind of, that experience and what's, how Steve would challenge him. So he went back, right? So he went back to working with him, and, just because it's more than, I think you've got to find somebody too that can help, all the other dynamics that come along with it. Right.
Right.
Especially, and this is like what Coach Burt just said, right? It's the, I don't believe in balance, right? I believe in, his belief of that, but there are, the juggle of the other equities, right? And how important those are intertwined into, the design of life, and, you're not just solely on your business. So,
right.
Pretty cool. Yeah, man, those sessions in Arizona with Clay and the leadership team, those were awesome.
Yeah, they were.
I'll never forget, man, about every damn time, right? Why were we thinking about not coming?
Right. Yep.
Every time, right? Walking out of there,
so
it's like, God dang, man, I'm so glad we made it.
It's hard to get out of your business and commit to those events.
It is, man, but every time. Hey, so we've got a good question from Jared. When first starting on attraction, do you focus on wide or deep? He has a couple whales on his list who could bring 20 plus, but I feel like I should start by trying to pitch on smaller fish first and focus on getting 5 of those. Or do you go after them all and then depend on who you get to take the offer?
I personally, we sat down and had this strategy session when we joined EXP, and we determined that the whale hunting strategy was the move for us. And so I would say the same. You're going to have to learn the process either way, and I wouldn't discriminate against anybody. If you have somebody that it should be based upon that to me sounds like 2 or 3 days work. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, and the reason I say it that way is because it's invitation, right? You don't have to learn to pitch anything. And if you are pitching something, you're doing it wrong. So all you have to do is learn to invite. And so there's invite to the independent video, or invite to the One Big Fire video. And so, you should be, that's too, you could knock that out in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the process. And so I think that's the biggest threat is we think we overthink it, right? Like in all reality, what we're teaching you in the process is invite. And so, if that doesn't work, you keep inviting until they actually watch the video. But I definitely would want to make sure that I was inviting the whales for sure, and leveraging those for getting on calls with us. You should be selling us.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, you nailed it right there. Right, one of the things that it's truth that we've uncovered in the 4 years of being here is that one of the most valuable things is being able to connect with the dynamic community of the top agents on the planet that are that make up the Honey Badger Nation. I honestly believe that is one of the most valuable things coming to EXP, that you can, aligning with the community that has been built. It's 8,000 deep and counting, growing at 6, 7, 8% month over month.
Yep.
So, and it's the best agents on the planet, like the best. And so, to me, that is one of the most dynamic things. And what I, it's that I can do it all myself. I don't need these other people. Yes, you do. You need to lean on the people within this organization because, it's the whole, man, I laugh about this. I tell this story all the time. You and I are coaching and training our team in Lawton, Oklahoma. And Michael Reese comes up in his Hummer, in his suit, sitting in the bullpen, laid back, legs crossed. And he says the same damn thing that we say, and the team is on fire. It's the greatest thing they've ever heard. Right. And you and I are just laughing. And it's like, we say the same thing. Right. This is what we train on. Like, I buy you guys lunch and train on this, but yet Michael comes up here during a sales meeting and says the same damn thing, and you guys think it's the greatest thing ever. Okay, whatever. It works. So the point, Jared, is that, they're going to hear probably the same thing, but they're going to hear it from somebody else, and it's going to resonate and it's going to land. So 3-way calls is the best thing that you can do. And getting those whales on somebody in your upline or man, in the Honey Badger Nation, they ain't even got to be in your upline, who they resonate with. I don't know how many people I've teed up for Veronica, right? Like, she just part of the community, and she just can add a ton of value because she can, whoever can relate. So, just leverage the community, man. It's so amazing. I honestly believe it's, besides giving a proven system to build generational wealth, besides a proven system, to have a real exit strategy in an industry that doesn't have one, dude, the community might be the most valuable thing. And it is. It's crazy. So we were going through that exercise. That was one of the I wrote down. That was it's like one of the real things, kind of because Coach was like, "Hey, what is it that you guys do? What is it?" Right. And so The first thing I wrote, give you a dynamic network of the best agents in the world. Right. Gives you an opportunity to build generational wealth and gives you a real exit strategy in an industry that doesn't have one.
Good stuff.
Mr. Hillsman. Mr. Hillsman was taking notes. I saw him. Yeah, Jared, buddy, don't just like Jay said, overthinking it. Don't overthink it, man. Just follow the process. Man, it was pretty cool. What did you see? Did you take a look at the agent attraction PDF that Rick put together? It's pretty cool.
Where is it?
It's the agent attraction PDF. He shared it. When did he share it? He might have shared it on the call. I'll forward it over to you. His if you didn't capture it, it was the whole. You know what? I'm gonna share my screen with this real quick. Holy smokes! This is exactly what. Surely he won't mind sharing this real quick. Let me clean this up. So this is his.
Yeah.
Do you see it? But this is the well. This is the well hunting, right?
Yep.
Edify the upline, who you've partnered with. Best inviter wins. Handle the objection. Handled it. Get prospects email, send them calendar invite, follow up, but get them on a 3-way call. Get them on a 3-way call. So everything that we were just saying right there is on point. Hey, oh yeah, Dan. So here's the 3 I was writing down as we're going through that exercise. And he said, gives you a dynamic network of the best agents in the world. Opportunity to build, give you an opportunity to build generational wealth. Give you a proven system to build generational wealth, and gives you a real exit strategy in an industry that doesn't have one.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I go back to the Jack Perry story, 62 years old, the running joke, I'm going to show homes when I'm 82. To being able to see that there is a real exit strategy to I'm done in 5, right? This is a 62-year-old, very successful, built a machine to I have no exit. I'm going to be doing this for the next 20 years to I am done in 5.
Yep.
That's like, holy shit.
Yep.
And it's what I loved what Coach was saying too, while on the call. It's like, dude, everybody's doing it. Why are you not? Like,
right.
What are
you trying to be last?
Yeah. What's wrong with you? Yeah. Why are you trying to be last? And then I love is, we're going to have a conversation in 6 months, and you're going to be like, man, why didn't I do this sooner?
Right.
So it's good. It's so good, man. What's the biggest takeaway? Hey, let me ask you this question. So all the coaching over the years, you've been coaching ever since I've known you.
Yep.
What is like the biggest lesson or the biggest takeaway or the biggest coach, that's like the lesson that you still think about to this day?
Man, that's a tough question. So the lesson I think about the most.
Yeah, from your coaching experience that you've learned, like, man, that's one of the lessons that always resonates with you.
Well, I mean, the one that we shared at the very beginning was definitely what led me to be so coachable, right? And and I think again, this doesn't come from anything anybody's told me, but I've learned because I'm coachable that I can accomplish anything. And that's the beautiful thing, right? Like once you at least have that awareness that if you're coachable, you can, you don't have to bang your head up against the wall quite as often. And you can literally accomplish anything, especially if someone else has ever accomplished it, because, then there's a process to get there. I think that's for me, like the most important thing I see in people. They're either they're coachable or they're not. But that wasn't a lesson that was learned. It was by me not being as coachable and then learning that. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's tough. It's not so much that there's like all these things that are shocking that happen, but if you just kind of get clear on what area of your life something's missing, you're not happy, you're not accomplishing what you want, then and each of those moments is when coaching is extremely valuable. That's where you see the blind spots that you didn't see. And that still happens to me to this day. Right. Like, you still
have them. Yeah. You nailed it, man. We all have got them, right? It's all the blind spots. And that's where being able to it's the whole, what we reveal, we can heal. Sometimes we just, haven't seen it yet. And, it's just like you were sharing, with Coach Burt. I mean, I've known you long enough. As soon as Coach Burt opened his mouth, all of a sudden, like something changed. I was like, yep, something's about to go down here. And, it's pretty cool. Man, I think in that room the first time with Abraham was, I mean,
oh man,
that changed everything.
No doubt about that. Well, I mean, it was literally every principle around growing a business compiled from 400 industries all into 2 days, right?
Fire hose.
Yeah.
Fire hose. I tell you what, one of the things that helped us anchor that in the most is being able to take that back and teach it to the vendors.
100%.
That allowed us to put things at play. So I think that's another good lesson for everybody listening in. You know, what you're learning, what you're going through, how are you teaching it? How are you putting it into motion? So for us, so the story is that, you know, we went to J. Abraham event, 2 days, drinking Red Bull through a fire hose, you know, just like he over delivers. I mean, the box that arrived at the office when we were heading out to the airport was insane of just stuff. And, you know, we come back and we compile, I know I've got one of the binders. I think it might be in the closet. But we compiled all the stuff and, you know, we were rocking with our vendor program at the time. And I don't know, we had 15 to 20 different vendors that were contributing to the Raving Fan Club and part of the business. And we all brought them in for a day session. And we taught them everything that we learned from Jay and gave them all the stuff, just taught them and really poured into them to help them grow their business, because we knew, you know, if their businesses was succeeding, it was going to help our business as well. And, you know, it's a really, really good, you know, so if you have that Raving Fan Club, you have that vendor program, you know, what are you doing to pour into them to help their business grow?
Yeah. That's so powerful.
Faux show. Oh man. You get in fantasy football this year?
I did. I only got one team. I'm not trying to juggle more than one, but I got the last pick too. So I'm like, damn it. Like I thought I had a decent draft, but you never know.
Who'd you draft first?
Let's see. So all of the running backs, all the top tier running backs were gone in the first 10 picks. So I went Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, which I feel like that's a pretty good start.
Combination right there.
We're on week is on running backs. I don't remember who I ended up with, but who did I end up with? No, that's not true. I did Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. That'll be interesting, man. I'm excited to I'm excited for the Brownies. That's what I'm excited for.
Now I'm not even sure what the hell I did. Now I gotta go look. I thought I got Devontae Adams, and I know I didn't get Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill. Not with that later pick. Where's my team at?
Yeah, it'd be weird if he was still hanging around.
Yeah, no, he wasn't.
Oh man. Cool. Well, you guys, if you have anything on your mind, throw it in the chat real quick. If not, we'll wrap up today and let you guys get after it. Cool. Cuz, any parting words?
Man, no, it's we're 2 days away from the NFL season. College football started. That's I saw somebody post that we're gonna have football on Sunday every week until February, something like middle of February or whatever. And that just made me smile. I was like,
Giddy up.
Man, I would say my party words would be, you know, stay plugged in, do work, man. All I can tell you is if you're not working and focused on Asian attraction, you know, I believe you're going to miss out on the biggest wealth shifting opportunity in the real estate industry's ever had. So
they're all coming. Just a matter of time.
Yep.
Cool. Cuz, appreciate you. You guys, thank you. And we'll catch you guys next time. See ya.
Yep. Take it. Better.